very good day to Dr. Amar Zaina. My name is Parmati Dr. of Murugan from Semester 4 student, Bachelor of Business Administration, Human Resource Management. Today, my friends and I would like to present about the reward system and legal issues. The reward system in organization refer to the money or prizes given to employees, the way we recognize and inspire their contribution to the company. The reward system is the most important connection between individual employees to the organization. Incentive System F changed over the last 25 years to offer a broad range of rewards that drive employee engagement and align with the organization vision and objective. The reward system that include both financial reward and non-financial rewards. In a financial rewards, monetary earned by the employee as a result of successful performance, while non-financial rewards are physical prizes, social practice, job-related elements is to encourage people with the direct payment of money. A study in Malaysia found that while work-life balance and work environment and financial influence employee retention, incentive and remuneration have a biggest positive effect. Turnover invention or willingness of individual quit their present organization or their work is influenced by the incentive system and legal difficulties in the organization.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nofadliana binti Hamdan. I will talk about traditional pay and contingent pay. First of all, traditional pay is a set and consistent wage structure provided to employees as a reward for their services. It is a crucial component of a company's overall reward system, encompassing both monetary and non-monetary factors aimed at motivating employees. Organizations must navigate the complex legal environment surrounding compensation, including compliance with employment regulation and rules. Traditional pay influences employee expectation and contributes to workplace justice and equity. The fundamental simplicity of traditional pay system gives a straightforward and simple to administer way of handling salary. This ease of use is desirable to both workers and their employers because it creates a clear and easily predicted structure for payment within the workplace relationship. However, from a legal perspective, the complexity of labor rules and regulation cannot be overtaken by the ease of use of traditional compensation. Compliance with minimum wage laws, overtime regulation, and other legal requirements become crucial for the organization to maintain, since non-compliance may expose it to legal risks and legal issues. Organizations must acknowledge that various cultures may have different attitudes on payment, ethics of work, and justice. Conducting wide culture evaluation recognizing the various demands that employees may have concerning rewards and modifying the reward system, especially traditional pay structures, to satisfy these differences are all part of a strategy plan to achieve cultural alignment. Organizations must perform a thorough evaluation to make sure that such cultural changes to the reward system comply with local and global employment laws. This covers implications for the minimum wage requirement, equal treatment rules, and law against discrimination. One of traditional pay advantage is minimize the workload on human resource departments and financial managers. Managing, computing, and educating employees about traditional pay method is simpler than dealing with advanced payment plans. This administrative effectiveness lowers the risk of wage processing errors and saves money. But traditional pay system may limit a company's capacity to react to variances in individual achievement or adjustments to job duties. This lack of adaptability could lead to pay inaccuracies, which could raise issues with equal pay and anti-discrimination legislation. And now we move to contingent pay. Contingent pay is a strategy used by organizations to directly relate staff salaries to work performance and achievements. This compensation system includes cash incentive based on individual or group performance, such as performance-based bonuses, revenue sharing methods, and stock options. Contingent pay is an effective strategy for bringing in and keeping the best individuals. Organizations in competitive industries frequently need to separate themselves to retain highly skilled workers. Higher income through contingent pay could be an attractive incentive for top performers who wish to be acknowledged for their outstanding performance. Workers feel motivated to consistently improve their productivity and contribute to the overall success of the company, which can result in a more competitive and engaged workforce. Organizations must understand the cultural differences between individualistic and collectivistic cultures when developing or changing a reward system. While collectivistic cultures stress cohesion and collaboration, individualistic cultures place more emphasis on individual achievement and recognition. In high-power distant cultures, organizational structures are supported, while in low-power distant cultures, fairness is advocated. Maintaining a power gap inside an organization is important. In high-power distant cultures, top-down reward distribution might be more desirable. Contingent pay allows for a more adaptable and helpful strategy for the payment of salaries. Contingent pay allows organizations to pay personnel based on their services, which is in contrast to traditional pay, which may undervalue the evolving dynamics of the company's success. This adaptability is particularly helpful for companies that have projects based on or fluctuating demand. As an example of contingent pay, bonuses are often given to salespeople and are based on the total amount of sales they generate for the company. Contingent pay may lead to an aggressive and personal work ambience, encouraging staff members' competition. Competition among employees can have a negative impact on collaboration and teamwork, as they strive to outperform one another in order to receive greater rewards. Competitiveness affects more than just the culture of the workplace as a whole. It can also give rise to ethical issues when people use unethical means to achieve their targets. Such actions could put the company in trouble and require strict monitoring and compliance to the law in order to prevent misconduct with contingent compensation plans.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Shafika. I will explain about organization culture. Organization culture is defined as a set of practice, behavior and action that are agreed upon and shared by everyone in the organization. It has two types of organization, is traditional and involvement. For the traditional, it will make top-down decision making will be made for any decision. Vertical communication. This culture practice vertical type communication in organization work and a clearly defined job. All tasks will be clear explained. It helps employees perform well and it helps motivate employees to perform. Next, for involvement. An involvement organizational culture emphasizes employee involved in shared decision making, open two-way communication, and roles that may be loosened, defined to allow room for creativity and initiative. The reward system in the culture focuses on motivating employees through practitioner recognition and professional growth. There are some key elements of a reward system is an engagement organization culture. Contingent pay system for different organization culture. There are several system differences in the culture of this organization. Traditional organization system reward based on piece rate, sales, commission, and group incentive. To implement contingent pay in a traditional company culture, they may suit its idea and nature. It promotes goal alignment where a contingent pay plan can assist in aligning team and individual goal with corporate objective. By doing this, it allows staff members to focus on action and tasks that directly advance the company's strategy objective. Contingent compensation link reward to performance, making an effective motivation tool. In an engagement culture, profit sharing can be linked to team achievement and collaborative project. The emphasis may be on fostering teamwork and sharing success. Performance-oriented reward or skill-based pay may be tied directly to the result and outcome achieved by the employee. High-performing individuals with certain skill can be rewarded appropriately according to their skill. It's important to note that the effectiveness of a contingent pay system can depend on how well it aligns with the culture value and broader goal of the organization. Moreover, the success of this system may depend on effective communication and transparent implementation.
This one is about pay structures, which refer to compensation structures essential to organizational frameworks that are vital to attracting, retaining, and inspiring workers. Job evaluation and broad banding are two popular approaches used in the creation of pay structures. Organizations use job evaluation as a methodical process to evaluate and rank various jobs inside the company according to their respective values. Point, ranking, and classification system are examples of common methods. For ranking methods, there are three types, which is simple ranking, alternative ranking, and paired comparison method. Simple ranking method is a direct approach in which positions are ranked according to the organization's assessment of their significance. A more comprehensive strategy is used in the alternate ranking method, while in the paired comparison method, all jobs are compared to all other jobs. Using classification methods, jobs are grouped according to shared characteristics, and each group is given a particular class or grade. These techniques attempt to reduce the complexity of assessing individual jobs by classifying them based on shared characteristics. Point methods usually contain multiple essential elements, all of which contribute to the final evaluation of a job's worth. These elements could include things like the level of expertise needed, accountability, working environment, and other relevant aspects. Okay, now we move to advantages and disadvantages for each methods. The simplicity of ranking methods is one of their benefits. They are simple to use and comprehend, so small businesses or those with low funding can make use of them. The lack of distinction between jobs and specific information is a major disadvantage. Without providing a detail of particular abilities, duties, or contributions connected to each position. Using classification techniques facilitate the establishment of a clear hierarchy and the communication of job positions, responsibilities, and pay grades. The possibility of oversimplification is a major drawback because the contributions and particular requirements of jobs within a classification might vary. Point systems provide an organized and methodical way to evaluate jobs, fostering consistency and objectivity in the rating procedure. The disadvantage is it might take a lot of time and money to design and maintain a point method implementation because they are sophisticated. Broad banding is a change from the conventional narrow pay grades. It entails combining many pay grades into larger range or bands. Wide banding and compressed broad banding are two primary forms of broad banding. Wide banding entails combining many conventional pay grades into a larger band to provide a more adaptable and dynamic pay structure. Compressed broad banding is a technique that expands on the ideas of wide banding by combining even more pay grades into fewer, wider bands. The advantages are better alignment with market trends, more flexibility in rewarding staff, and a simpler pay structure, as well as promotes a culture of merit-based compensation that is more performance-oriented. While the disadvantage is important, factors to take into account include figuring out how wide the bands should be, making sure that compensation decisions are fair, and telling staff members of the adjustment in an understandable way.
The use of reward system can be beneficial in motivating individuals and promoting desired behavior with an organization. However, there are certain issues and problems associated with reward system and legal issues. We will explore these issues and problems with their potential solutions. One of the main issue is with reward system is the potential for unintended consequences. While rewards are intended to incentivize certain behavior, they may inadvertently lead to undesirable outcomes. This is known as the crowding out effect, where extrinsic rewards are replaced with the intrinsic rewards and their motivation diminish the individual's interest in task itself. To mitigate the issue, organization can focus on fostering intrinsic motivation by creating a work environment that promotes autonomy and purpose. Okay, another issue with the system is the potential for short-term thinking and unethical behavior when individuals are solely focused on the achieving rewards. They may engage in unethical practice or cut corners to meet targets. Organizations should align the reward system with ethical standards and long-term organization objectives. Lack of differentiation and fairness is one of the another common issues in the reward system. If all employees similar rewards regardless of their individual performance or contribution and recognition, it can be lead demotivations among higher performing employees, resentment among low performing organizations. Should implement performance-based rate system that recognize and differentiation employee based on their individual achievements. It will called as the merit-based systems. Lastly, the lack of transparency, effective communication also one of the common issues in the reward system in any organization. It will be critical for the success of any reward system. Every company should address the lack of transparency and communication issues in a reward system by implementing regular and open communication channel with the management and the employees.
Now, I would like to explain about the performance management and law. The relationship between performance management and law is very closely related to each other, where the legal element is also important component and can exist in various types and appearance according to the issue in the performance management process. The performance management system in organization will usually be valid or legal when each procedure is standardized according to what has been outlined, and that procedure must be used by all the employees. For example, in employee evaluation, organization should set standard operating procedure (SOP) for individuals who have the authority to evaluate them, so that all the employee is evaluated transparently and fairly. Thus, organizations that design and implement an effective and law-abiding operating management system must understand and mobilize the system of work with the provision of the established law. Now, let's move on to the legal principle that affecting performance management, which is the first one is employment at will. This term refers to a situation where an employee may be terminated from service at any time without any reason, explanation or warning, and the employee may resign at any time, whether due or unwarranted. There are three exceptions based on this concept, which is the first one is the implied contract exception. In this exception, employer has limitation to dismiss the employee under this exclusion situation, whether there is an oral or written guarantee made by the employer. The second exception is possible violation of legal right. The rule under this exception is to prohibit employers from discontinuing employees at will for non-compliance with the law of the general public, which have their own advantage. This exception generally forbids firing workers for blowing whistle, refusing to act illegally, exercising legal right or privilege, or carry out mandate tasks, though each state may define public policy differently. And the last exception of employment at will concept is implied covenant of good faith and fair dealing, which mean the employer must serve all employees fairly and in good faith. This exemption prohibits termination for reasons other than cause only or restricted to a fair rational cause. The second principle is about negligence. Here, I would like to share to you about 3 situations of negligence between the employer and employee who can be convicted of a legal offence. The first one is employer's duty of care. It is known that employer is responsible for providing a safe and comfortable workplace environment for the employee, providing adequate training and proper supervision to them. If the employer fails to maintain the welfare and safety of the employee in the workplace, then it can be considered a negligence. The second situation is about training and development. The issue of negligence will also arise if the employer fails to provide the necessary training and development opportunity to help employees further strengthen their skills and ensure them to perform the job more proactively. The last situation is legal liability, which is employer can be held legal liable for negligence in performance management if it can be proved that they did not act directly to prevent the occurrence of harm. As example, organizations that do not provide usage manual for the operation of dangerous machine in factory and such at-risk causing accident to employees can be prosecuted under Occupational Safety and Health Act 1994. Next, legal principle that can affect performance management is defamation. Defamation refers to a communion against false statements that are capable of damaging the reputation of an individual or an organization. In the context of performance management, this defamation is an untrue and unfavorable disclosure of performance information which will affect the employer and the level of performance of the employees. According to the legal perspective in Malaysia, there are 2 types of defamation circumstance, which is the first one is libel, that means defamatory statement made in permanent form, which include newspaper, article, broadcasting by means of radio communication or social media posts. While the other one is slander, which is defamatory statement made in temporary form, such as verbal conversation or spoken words. Individuals who are victims of defamation may take a legal action under provision of Defamation Act 1957. Next is misrepresentation. This misrepresentation may occur such as matter involving the provision of false information or presenting misleading facts for the benefit of a particular party that may cause the other party to incur loss. There are following type of misrepresentation that are likely to occur in contract law, which is that first one is innocent misrepresentation. That is a false statement of substantial fact made by the defendant who did not know the statement was false when they signed the contract. The second one is negligence misrepresentation. It's a claim that prior to signing a contract that defendant did not make an effort to confirm was accurate. And the last one is fraudulent misrepresentation, when a defendant make a false statement or does so carelessly in an attempt to persuade the other party to enter into a contract. It is considered as misrepresentation also. Other than that, we have adverse impact, or also known as unintentional discrimination, which is referred to a situation in which organization, policy or practice is neutral in its, which is seen to have a disproportionate negative effect on a particular group based on the real characteristic inherent in it. The last one is the most popular legal issue among workplace in Malaysia, which is illegal discrimination. As we know, discrimination is an act that's seen as unfair and has an element of prejudice against an individual or a group based on the tangible characteristic found in themselves, or better known in the term protected characteristic. Among these characteristics that are often the issue of discrimination are ethnicity, gender, age, sexual orientation, religion, self-sufficiency, and so on. There are difference between legal discrimination and illegal discrimination. For legal discrimination, it is an act of discriminating against employee based on their level performance. Meanwhile, the illegal discrimination is a discrimination on difference in treatment based on factors that not related to the work performance or simply due to the status or characteristic that an individual has. The implementation of performance management according to the law is interrelated between all levels, namely from the organization, management, and employees level. In organization, they must be officially explained and communicate to all employees either in writing or orally. They should include a formal appeals process in the performance management system, where it is a structural mechanism that gives employees the opportunity to challenge performance assessment. And lastly, the organization also need to coordinate all procedure and standardize for all employees or working group that exist in the organization. While at management level, supervisors should provide with formal training and be taught to them on how and to implement on how to properly manage the performance of employees, and the information on employee performance collected must be double, varied and unbiased rate to ensure that the result of the assessment are fair and free from discriminatory elements. And lastly, employees also should be provided with timely information about their lack of performance so that it can give them the opportunity and time to correct their mistake. Last but not least, employees should be given the opportunity and space to speak up in the review process and be treated with courtesy and decency throughout the process.